Before I dive into the capital improvement plan, I kind of want to give a little background of how it was made up. In 2010, there was a major flooding episode, and the village, through mapping and reports, identified 6 nodes that were used in the Jahncke report. Those 6 nodes contain the areas of Fairmont and Woodruff, the southwest 4,700 blocks, which contains the 4,700 blocks of Idlewild, Elkhart, Woodruff, Hollywood, down in that portion of the village. The other portions were the 5,000 block of Cumberland, Palisades, the area around 4,700 block of Kramer, and also the area around 4,700 block of Woodburn and Morris. Since these areas were near each other, we condense these down into 4 nodes. Fairmont and Woodruff with the southwest 4,700 blocks because they're in the same drainage area. 5,000 Cumberland and Palisades because they're in the same drainage area and geographically close. 4,700 blocks of Kramer and 4,700 blocks of Woodburn and Morris. When we deal with a capital improvement plan, what we look to do is not only just runoff or sanitary sewer or water main. We need to combine all these projects together. We're tearing up the street. It's an inconvenience for the homeowners living on that street to have their street torn up. And we really want to try to, limit the disruption to people's lives. And we really need to try to get in there and complete the whole entire street when we do a street reconstruction. So we're going to dive into the 2013 CIP plan. Now, the CIP plans we have here is a 5-year snippet from 2013 to 2017 with highlights of projects in the future. The main project that we're going to be focusing on in the 2013 CIP plan is the Cahill Park Stormwater Management Facility. Other projects are going to be the storm sewer outfall improvements in the Milwaukee River 2 basin and Milwaukee River 3 basin. We're going to do a lining project in Sanitary Basin 1203, which is detailed by the dotted green area down here. And then we're going to have a Lake Drive water main project to replace old 1918 water main on Lake Drive. And then we're going to do an alley and sidewalk project. The sidewalk project for year 2013 is this red checked area here in the middle of the village. So the Cahill Stormwater Management Facility. Yes, we are proposing in this plan to create a dry detention basin on the north corner of the village, repurposing this land right here. Currently it's a softball diamond. It will become the stormwater management facility. We intend to keep the baseball diamond here. We're going to drop it down a couple of feet. So when it does flood in this area and the areas north of here, that this water can be mitigated in this facility, and this can act as a big 24 to 48 hour detention facility, mitigating downstream peaks in the 4,700 blocks of Woodruff, Idlewild, Sheffield, Hampton, and going out through the village. Here's another detailed version of that. We're redoing the storm sewer that currently runs north and south through the park and out Sheffield. And we're detailing the stormwater management facility.
Go back a second. The red lattice work in that area is the drainage piping underneath the varsity diamond, correct?
Correct. The varsity diamond will have an engineered drainage field underneath it because of the potential of water on the field. The 100-year or the 5.88 inch and 24-hour storm will only come up to the infield, just the edge of the infield. So we'll have the underdrain system in there to help relieve the field from water or any standing water on the field.
Is the field flat or is the field sloped?
The field will be sloped. The final details of that sloped field are not finalized yet.
Just a general question regarding that. Is there a group of people that know anything about baseball that are having a particular input to see that you're going to wind up with a field that's useful, playable, and safe?
Yes, we brought in the Friends of Bay Baseball.
The school district.
And the school
Friends of
district.
Bay baseball, conceptually, perhaps even Whitefish
So there's a buy-off that'll be made by that group before it moves forward?
Correct.
Great. Okay, can we hold questions until the end? I think it'll go a lot faster if we can finish the presentation and then just go straight into questions.
All right, and in next year's plan, we're intending to improve 2 storm sewer outfalls. Currently, we have a storm sewer system that runs through Estabrook Park. The junction point right here is basically Wilson Drive. Through our modeling, we found out that that storm sewer, basically for the entire MR3 basin, can barely convey a 2-year storm, and we're upgrading that to convey a 10-year storm in the pipe with 100-year storm sewer, 100-year street storage. And then we're proposing to do a storm sewer outfall here at the MR2 basin. Currently, this portion of the storm sewer cuts right through Glendale, and it's in a small 6-foot easement that we're going to have to upgrade that underutilized pipe there. The 4th major project that we're going to be doing in the village here will be sanitary sewer basin lining. This is actually a picture from one of our cammering of the sanitary sewer laterals, which is going on right now. Sanitary sewers laterals are a main source of one of the I's, infiltration. Anytime you have a major root blockage like this, there's a pretty good chance that wet weather event that you're going to have high amounts of infiltration coming into your sanitary sewer system.
So to be clear, those are tree roots constricting the size of the sanitary lateral that comes out of your house.
Correct. This is usually a 6-inch pipe, and that's about 80% blocked. So anytime you flush the toilet, run the dishwasher, run your garbage disposal, any waste that has to come down your sanitary sewer lateral has to navigate through these roads. Here's another picture of a lateral. You can see the cracking along here. Other things that can happen are these joints can be offset. So what we're planning with this work here is Basin 1203 is considered a broken sewer shed by MMSD. What we're attempting to do is about 25% of the basin has been rehabbed at one point with either sanitary mains and lateral work. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be lining individual laterals in the basin, and we're going to be lining and rehabbing storm sewer manholes and storm mains in the basin. Basically fixing the entire basin and then remonitoring this flow. The purpose of this is to prove whether or not foundation drains, what percentage do the foundation drains bring into the sanitary sewer system. So then we're going to move on to the 2014 CIP plan. We're going to be carrying out portions of the MR3 improvements. So we're going to be doing a street reconstruction in Hollywood. We're going to be doing street reconstruction in Larkin and Bartlett. This helps out the flooding. This helps out flooding problems both on Palisades and on Cumberland over here. We're going to be determining, based on this year's sanitary sewer basin lateral lining, the next scope. Most likely, we're going to end up in this area down here, the Wilshire, Cumberland, Kramer area, and then we're going to be doing a reconstruct of that Silver Spring intersection, a little bit of water main, and there's going to be a geometry change. The crosswalks aren't really conducive to any pedestrians crossing the street up there, and then we're going to carry forth with our alleys and sidewalk program. 2015, we're going to continue on with the MR3 improvements. We're going to be picking off Woodruff and Idlewild here, and we're going to be doing a reconstruct on the 6,000 and 6,100 blocks of Berkeley, with a possible mill and overlay up on the northern portion from 62 and 6,300 blocks of Berkeley. And then we're going to be working on a sanitary basin lateral lining program. Most likely that lining program will consist of the area around Palisades, Lake Drive, and then houses around the Fairmount area down here. And then we're going to move forward in the MR3 basin. We're going to construct the rest of Hampton. The MR3 basin will be basically done except for a couple other streets down here. We're going to be doing a T-Series streetlights. These T-Series streetlights are original 1920, 1930 lights. They run off a very high voltage. It's the last ancient street light project that we have here in the village. These last 2 previous years, we knocked out one in the F series and one in the O series. This is the last one. It's pretty much a maintenance nightmare for our street light guys. And then we're going to continue on with our sanitary basin lateral lining program, and we're going to have some alleys to be determined in those future projects. And then we're going to hop up to our 2017 CIP plan. We're going to finish off basin MR3, do an Elkhart to Sheffield, and then we're going to hop forward to everything that's happening in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to continue our lateral lining program for the next 20 to 25 years, and eventually we'll cover the whole entire village. And these things are always subject to change. If we get back to basin 1203 here, and we determined that our lining project took out maybe 10 or 20% of the inflow and infiltration into the sanitary sewer system, we may look into doing a foundation disconnect program in an area of this basin to further limit the infiltration into our system. So, that's still to be determined in the future.
Aaron, can I add something to that? I'm village trustee Jim Romer. It pertains to the basin 3 sanitary lateral lining or replacement project. That's significant in a couple of respects, and you touched upon it, but we have to really make it clear. Not only are we going to improve the performance of that system by virtue of the fact that we've removed, what do you call it, the infiltration that comes through the soil, right? That's the infiltration piece. All right, so you know, and we're monitoring flows in this basin, right? So you've got pre-improvement flow and post-improvement flow. And so there are 396 homes in that basin? 386. All right, let's say we're at the end of the improvements there, which will be undertaken, the construction work will be undertaken next year. So at the end of that, you have improved laterals for 386 homes, but you still got clear water in your system. What the heck is going on? All right, you've got a new or a relined lateral, so it's not coming through the soil. Where's it coming from? In all likelihood, it's your foundation drain. Okay, and my friend Bob Crawford over here will tell you it only takes 5 homes kicking out 55 gallons per minute to surcharge an 8-inch sanitary lateral. Well, you do the math. How many homes are there around? 15, 16. 5 of them with foundation drains are filling up your poop chute. And that's leading to basement problems. So this is significant in that we will have improved 386 laterals, right? Good, that's fine. But it also provides the data that we need to make the case that these foundation drains are a problem. Now, every other municipality of our age and similar design and construction in the region has data that proves that foundation drains are creaminess. It's not very realistic for the board to come out and say, thou shalt disconnect your Palmer, or close your Palmer valve, and install a sump pump at considerable expense without the empirical data from our community in present time. So, while I think we're going to come to this conclusion, I'd say I'm 99% sure that we're going to find that it's foundation drains that are creaming us. It's not real fair to look everybody in Berkeley in the eye and say, well, you need to spend $5 grand doing this. Well, they didn't have issues, right? And how can you prove that just because West Dallas experienced this, that's what's going on in the village? So we've got to have this data, and that's what this is about. We'd love to have this going forward. Again, there are a number of us on the board that would say, look, I know this is where this is going. We ought to legislate, the disconnection of the Palmer valve and installation of sump pumps today. But you can't do that when you're talking about, 4,500 residential units and a $5,000 expense. All right, so it's a significant project. We're not calling it a pilot, but we're calling it a program because we intend it to be ongoing through the balance of the village. And if you can it's essential that we take this clear water out of the system because MMSD is not going to let us send any more through the pipes than we already are. There's 18 million gallons per day that we're allowed to make, something like that. That's about peak conveyance right now. We can't accommodate any more flow. We can't let more and more clear water enter our system or hold it for that matter and send it through the system because MMSD A isn't going to allow it. And B, if it does start coming through, we're going to be building those. So, sorry to be long-winded, but we're glossing over it, but this is a huge project for the village. It's going to provide a lot of data. It's improving the system to begin with, right? And I think we'll really make it clear where the issues are, at least least as pertains to the sanitary system. Stormwater is another matter, they're related, right? And that's a big portion of what the CIP is, but there's going to be residential expenditures, private property expenditures that are undertaken for the fix our sanitary system. And recently, the village board approved municipal financing of that, whereas it might normally be your own expense, right? It's collateral, it's your property. You know, figure out how to pay for that. We recognize that it's a sizable chunk of change. And so, akin to what we would do with street assessments or sidewalk assessments, and speed with respect to sidewalk, but certainly for streets, we're going to allow 7 years financed by the village at our borrowing cost, which is less than yours, with repayment, I think, we're at $500 a year. Okay, so hopefully that takes the edge off of the expenditure a little bit. But at the front end, the investigative work is being done on MMSD's nickel with the grant that we got for that, right? And then we'll go out and engage probably a couple of preferred contractors to bid the homes that are being improved to hopefully drive the cost down by volume purchasing. So
That's all very well and good, but I think a lot of us are here because of the Cahill stupid project. Who's going to talk about that retention pond over there and why it's being
we're
done?
getting there. We're getting there. And I think you'll see that there's a great deal of reason why that project's being implemented, especially for the homes in the 50 acres that surround it that have been inundated with surface water issues for several decades before even July 2010.
Correct, and I'll touch on that before I finish here, but eventually down the way, in 2018, we'll be heading down to Cumberland, Wilshire, Kramer, and Glendale. We'll be doing storm sewer improvements and street reconstructs in that area. 46, 47 block of Woodburn will be a possible street reconstruct in 2020, and then moving north from there. To touch on the Cahill project, and this Cahill project has been moving forward since December of 2010. Let me just back out of here for a second. Pull up that PDF here.